Hey, everybody. So happy that you can join me here on If You Don't Like That, what will very obvious be to me, because I've been doing this for a long time, both on this platform and on radio. Uh, so I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a massive overreaction to one Summer League game. So bring it. Let's do it. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm serious. Let's do it. Let's have an overreaction. All right, here it is already. Devin Carter is terrible. How concerned should you be at Devin Carter going 2 of 14? Kings got great ones. That's right, great ones in Clifford and Reynaud. That's right, they are great. That's right, they're great. Not just good, they got great ones. That's right, the two rooks are now great based on one Summer League game in Las Vegas against the Orlando Magic. There you have it. I can wrap up the show, say so long, everybody, and be back tomorrow. I won't do that. Good Lord. Unbelievable. All right, here are my thoughts. I thought Reynaud looked very, very good in the first half. So-so in the second half. I thought that Nate Clifford in the first half didn't do much. Seemed to be finding his way. Certainly very good in the second half. Devin Carter was not impressive in any way, shape, or form offensively. I'll tell you who I was impressed with as much as anyone on the roster was Mason Jones. I thought Mason Jones played very well, and he played the most minutes of anyone on the team. You know, I'm looking at his numbers. He played 32 minutes. He made 50% of his shots. He had 5 rebounds. He had 5 assists. He had a game-high 17 points. I mean, I like what I saw from Mason Jones. It's one game. I don't make too much out of one game. I think, though, you know, Reynaud looks athletic, certainly looks skilled, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But again, I really like what I saw from Mason Jones. I thought Mason Jones was, I was as impressed with him as anyone, only because of what he has gone through and what he did in Stockton. And this is a really big offseason for him. This is a big summer for him. All right. Straight up, Devin Carter looks undersized, and it looks glaring tonight. He is what he is, right? He is what he is. It's a big summer for Carter. I mean, I'm not going to not acknowledge that. It's a big summer for him. He's got to make a big step. And tonight was not a good start for him. That's for sure. Not a good start for him. Because what did we talk about with Devin Carter last year when he did play? That he looked limited offensively. Well, tonight he took 4 threes, missed them all. He took 14 shots and only made 2. So we'll see. All right. Isaac Jones had a few good flashes. Hope he gets a few more minutes. He will. He will. You can see the skill with these guys. Maxime had some good passes. Give something to talk about with his feel for the game. Still nothing to be excited about yet with these young guys. Scott Perry on NBA TV said that he's still searching for the point guard position. I would think that's probably true. Was Scott Perry, did he look right to you on TV tonight during the interview? Like, did you raise your eyebrows a little bit? Just asking. Wouldn't get your take on that, because I'm seeing a lot of talk also on the internet about Scott Perry's interview and the state that he was in. I'm just wondering what you thought. So Summer League is underway. Oh yeah, by the way, the Kings did win, which I don't give a damn about. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Here's what matters. The players that play, they should care whether you win or lose. And the coaches that are coaching should care whether you win or lose, but nobody else should care because it's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. All right. A lot of people said he was drunk. He looked drunk. Arvin said anyone else thinks Scott Perry sounded a bit drunk on his interview, was slurring over his words. Yeah, it was not that good. That's for sure. Not good. And I'm not going to accuse him of being drunk. All right. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying it was odd to say the least. It's Vegas. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's Vegas or not. No front office. Well, let me back up. No NBA personnel, okay, should be at a summer league game, particularly a general manager, if they've been drinking. Now, I don't care what you do tonight after the game. If you want to go out to dinner and have a couple of pops and have a bottle of wine, whatever. But I mean, if that's true, that's a no-no. Now, I'm not saying that was the case, but I'm just saying that would be a big-time no-no. Big time. What about Scott? I missed the mid-game interview. People just stating that he appeared to be somewhat intoxicated. I raised my eyebrows a little bit too. But I've only talked with Scott a handful of times, two in person and the others via text messages. So, I mean, I'm not an expert on how he communicates, but it looked a little odd. All right. All right. Again, what'd you think? Give me some thoughts on the first Summer League game. If you want to get in on the program, give me a call. You got the QR code above my shoulder. You can also, all right, use this link, whatever works. If you want to talk about what you saw in Vegas for game number 1 this evening, I'm happy to do that. Or we can just go off the chat messages. I'm happy to do that as well. What did I hit there? There we go. I'm happy to do that as well. So, glad to have you with us. Someone said he might have been hearing his own voice in his headphones. That's called a mix minus. And I find it hard to believe that at that juncture, when they've already had other people doing interviews, that there would be a problem with that headset. Mix minus means that you speak and what you are saying, you can hear in your headset a half second or a second after you speak, which I've had that happen to me before. And that is unbelievably distracting. And you have to concentrate incredibly hard to speak coherently. But again, I would find that to be very hard to imagine based on they use that headset all day. Like I would find it hard to believe that all of a sudden there would be a problem when Scott went on. I would just say that. But again, I'm not accusing him. In no way in the world would I do that without having any facts at my disposal. All right. I love Cody and his NFL takes. How is Joe Burrow going to stay standing with that offensive line? It's a great question. Of course, you remember when they went to the Super Bowl, didn't he get sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL that year? That's for sure. All right, again, Tristan D. Silva did look nice. I would agree. I was really hoping we would draft him last year. He got a cup of coffee. He played a little bit with the Magic, but I agree with you. I thought he did look good. He's a 3 and a 4, and I thought he was by far the best player on the Orlando Magic. The Kings couldn't really do anything with him. I mean, I thought he was very, very effective. Let me look what his final numbers. I only looked at him briefly, but I'm with you on that. All right, he played 28 minutes, 8 of 15 floor, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 19 points. Hey, he was good. He was good. All right. Thoughts on Mike Woodson? Seems like he was giving Doug a lot of advice during the game. Mike's very experienced. He's been the head coach several times before. My NFL team, Saints, now have a good O-line, but our quarterback, well, you're talking about Rattler. I watched Spencer play 2 seasons ago in his last year when he was with South Carolina at a game at Tennessee. And again, it's college, but I was like very impressed with him. I was like, wow. Like he really stood out to me in that game. We'll see. We'll see how he does here coming up in year number 2. Who's going to get it done this season, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? It's a fabulous question. I can't put any stock into Lamar Jackson in January. I'm sorry, I just can't. I know everyone's talking about Scott Perry coming from the bar or whatever. I would hope that's not true. I would hope that is not true. Rattler, a turnover machine. Yeah, well, he does need to fix that, and but he's entering his second year. Let's cut him some slack here, would you please? We feeling optimistic for the 49ers this season? Well, first of all, don't include we. I just can't help but wonder if Purdy wasn't worth the big extension. Brock Purdy's worth the extension, and he's a very good quarterback. But don't put we. Says Rattler definitely moves fast and can scramble nice. Can he move the team up and down the field, right? That's what I'm looking for in a quarterback. And how does he play in the fourth quarter? Those are all things that I want in a quarterback. We'll see. Again, he's young. I'm not going to bury the guy, after 1 year. That would be very unfair. All right? Very unfair. Harbaugh year 2 looking good. Yeah, and the history would say that they will be good. That's the one thing about Harbaugh. His teams improved rapidly, and they were pretty close last year. All right, again, what do you want to talk about today? We got Summer League. We got NFL training camps right around the corner. We got the Open Championship next week. Have you watched Wimbledon at all? I was very surprised that, well, I was surprised at some of the scores. You got a really good situation in the women's final with the American beating the number 1 seed earlier, which was a fun match. Straight sets, knocked off the number 1 seed. I can't even Anisimova. Is that her name? I'm sorry. But she played very well, straight sets. She's a young phenom, and then she got mental health issues and had to leave the game. She's still young, 22, 23, and she's going to her first Wimbledon final. Thoughts on Red Bull dismissing Christian Horner as team principal? It seems to me that they made a decision there, Max Verstappen or Christian Horner. Horner had the sexual allegations a year ago. There's been rumors from the pits that there's been some tension. You got Mercedes now putting out rumors that they're interested in Verstappen. I just think this was Red Bull's way of like, okay, let's calm things down. Max, you're our guy. You're our priority. And let's move forward. That's how I think about that. I'm not an F1 expert, but that's what I think. All right. There's rumors that Kuminga was talking to teams at the Summer League. Vivek was present in Vegas. Do you think a meeting with the Kings is in place? What do you think of Kuminga and the Kings? I don't pay attention to rumors. That's number 1. Number 2, my gut feeling is Kuminga will stay with the Warriors. And number 3, what would I think on Kings? I would like to take a chance on Kuminga, but you would have to tell me what I would have to give up to acquire him. So without knowing that, it's very difficult to speak. Very difficult. How would I know whether Ben McLemore's 8-year sentence is a good sentence? Like, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. I have no idea. No idea. Max going to Mercedes. We'll see. We'll see. They got a pretty good lineup right now, right? They got a pretty good lineup with Russell and the Rook. So Antonelli's had a good year. I mean, not perfect, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's get to McLean right here on If You Don't Like That. Hi, McLean.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Not much. I had a question, just a curiosity question. You've traveled all over America. My so excluding Sacramento, because I know you're sponsored by Bennett's. What city had? I have three questions regarding food. What city was the best place to eat in the association?
I think that's very overrated. I think there are great restaurants in every city in America and around the world. And whether you're in Portland, which has my favorite restaurant, El Gaucho, or you are in Milwaukee, you can always find good restaurants. So I think that's kind of an unfair question, because I think when you say what's the best food, what city has the best food? Well, I mean, what makes New York better than Chicago, makes it better than Nashville, makes it better than Dallas, makes it better than Houston, makes it better than LA. I mean, you can find great restaurants anywhere, and the food is the food. It's all shipped from the same area pretty much.
Oh, okay. Is there, quick question, what's the best steakhouse you had in the association?
I love Del Frisco's in New York City on 49th and Avenue of the Americas. That was my favorite place to eat steak. It was phenomenal. And then my second place was El Gaucho in either Portland or Seattle. But then you have the Chicago steakhouses, and I never had a bad steak anywhere in Chicago. So those are three of my favorites.
Oh, thanks for that. I was just curious, and I hope you have a good night.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing, though? And I'm not getting on you, McLean. I appreciate you. Which city has the best food? Every city's got great food. Really? I mean, I've never understood that. Now, you might have chefs that are better than others and renowned chefs and blah, blah, blah. But like, who says that the food in, like, the barbecue in Dallas is better than the barbecue in, let's say, Memphis or here? I mean, or the seafood, because I live in Miami, is better than the seafood in Oklahoma City. Why? What would make that? I've never understood that. Never understood that. Chicago is Grant's favorite to eat. I like Chicago. Great restaurants. I would agree with that. All right. Andre says, I just heard a lot of people on the internet saying McLemore should have got longer. Well, first of all, why are we even talking about Ben McLemore? Like, why? My question is why? Like, why are we even discussing this? Seriously. I don't understand that. Like, OKC doesn't have oceans, so you need to have an ocean in your vicinity to have seafood? Really? Is that true? So if I go to Denver and I order seafood, I'm making a mistake because there's not an ocean anywhere near Denver? Is that what you're saying to me? Just curious about that. Just wondering. Now, if you want great seafood, then I've got a place for you. Bennett's. It's awesome. Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill in Rockland. Prime seafood and steaks. And I've got good news for you at Bennett's. They got a great deal going on right now, and I think you are going to like it. All right, how about the Taste of Summer? 2 courses, a great starter, and a choice of 4 entrees for $30, or you can add a special dessert for just $5 more. Grilled salmon, chicken chimichurri, Sonoran beef, enchiladas, right? You got the Sonoran. I might probably pronounce that wrong. I apologize. So I'll just say beef enchiladas, heirloom tomatoes, burrata, and shrimp. It's a great value, folks. Think about that. The taste of summer going on at Bennett's right now. Check it out. So I think it's Sonoran beef. Sonoran beef enchiladas. That sounds good. I'm not a salmon guy personally. It's about the only fish I don't eat. But I'll tell you this. All right. I'll do the beef enchiladas. I'll do the heirloom tomatoes. I'll do the burrata and shrimp in a heartbeat. Give it to me. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Sonoran, that's right. There you go. I got to make sure I get it right. Brian got these fancy names. Too fancy for an APR. Just give me the food, Brian. Give me my New York. Medium. I know how to say that. New York. Medium. Perfect. We're done. Nothing fancy. Let's go. All right. It is a slow time for sports because we're arguing about food. All right, I got a foodie for you since McLean brought it up. All right. You ready for that? You ready? I saw this on the internet 2 days ago, and I thought, wow, because I travel here. I travel to this place periodically. Do you know that if you went to Bangkok, Thailand, it would take 68 years to eat at every restaurant? Think about that. 68 years to eat at every restaurant. Facts. Bangkok has more world's 50 best restaurants than Paris. More restaurants per capita than New York City or London. From Michelin stars to mango sticky rice served off the back of a motorbike, Bangkok does it all everywhere. You can eat Michelin-rated street food for $3. No fancy setting, no dress code, just legendary food like J5's. All right? Now, the average person that lives in Bangkok eats out 80% of the time. Think about that. And it says, why cook when you can get a full meal for 40 baht, which is basically like $1.25 at 3 a.m, hot, fresh, and ready in minutes. How about this? Chinatown has over 100 restaurants in 300 meters. You into like weird stuff? Bugs, jellyfish, grilled crocodile? No problem. Go to any night market for the Bangkok version of Fear Factor. You can find skewered scorpions, crocodile meat, and more. You want Japanese? No problem. Bangkok has over 1,500 Japanese restaurants. That is the most anywhere outside of Japan. That's pretty amazing. Well, we talk about food. There you go. All right. There you have it. See, you get a little bit of everything here on If You Don't Like That. I listened to your travel segment yesterday. I'm a travel advisor on the side and would love to go to the Maldives. I'm looking at, I don't know, Alila and their beach villa. I would just say this. You really can't go wrong in the Maldives. Okay. My advice to you is this. Decide what your budget is and also factor in that the seaplane to any of the resorts is very expensive. And there are many resorts within 20 minutes or so that are beautiful that require only a transfer by speedboat, which is a lot less. And I'm telling you, the transfer on the seaplane is like $500 round trip per person. It's not cheap. Okay. Like it's not cheap. It's very expensive. whereas the transfer by boat will save you quite a bit of money. So that's the one thing that I would say. I've only been to the Maldives once, so I'm not an expert, although I have studied it and I've looked at a lot of the various resorts and properties. And you can stay for a couple of $100 a night, or you can spend $5,000 a night. But it just depends on your budget. The place you're referring to, I'm not familiar with. TripAdvisor is my go-to, Cody. Always use TripAdvisor when I travel. Kings won today. Rookies look pretty good. Thoughts? I don't give a damn whether the Kings won or lost. I don't care. What difference does it make? Who cares? If you gamble, it would probably mean something. I thought Reynaud looked very good in the first half, so-so in the second half. I thought Clifford looked so-so in the first half and very good in the second half. I was not impressed with Devin Carter. I was very impressed with Mason Jones. That's my quick recap. What was your most rewarding interaction with a fan, and what was the most awkward interaction with a fan? I've had thousands of rewarding interactions with fans, thousands. So I can't just pick out one. Awkward? Nothing really sticks out as an awkward interaction with a fan that I can think of. 99% of the fans that I meet were great, polite, fun to talk to. Never had an issue with that. Never. Celebrity Golf Classic at Edgewood sold out for the weekend. Any favorites to win? It's my favorite event of the year. I don't really pick a favorite. I don't know, but it's great. If you're going, have a great time. All right. Trying to save $10,000 and go to the Maldives in a couple of years. It's a Hyatt property. Okay, well, you know what? Good. 10,000 should be able to get you a hell of a vacation. You know, I'm sure you're including airfare in that, but that's still you'd have a hell of a trip for that. All right. Yeah, that's true. During my wife's birthday, when the candles were lit and the fan bothered you, that's true. That was, and my wife had every right to tell him to go F off. It's the one time where I applauded her and said, I can't fault you for saying that. That was unbelievable. Like, where's the common sense? Seriously. You got an individual who's got a cake in front of her with the candles lit, getting ready to blow out the candles as they're singing happy birthday. And he comes over and starts talking to me and asking me questions about the game last night. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Seriously. Like really? Have you ever heard of common sense? Common sense to me also involves who you're going to call when you have a plumbing problem. New Works Plumbing is your answer to that question. Give them a call. Go to their website or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're awesome. Again, they're available around the clock, 24/7. Again, for your plumbing needs and repairs, check out New Works Plumbing. New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. What else you want to talk about here? Yeah, it is slow. I mean, and I've done this for a long time. July and August, especially like once Summer League's wrapped up, the 6 weeks from Summer League to Labor Day is like molasses, you know? Why are players like Williams and Holmgren getting paid a couple of $100 million when the NBA back then, all Hall of Famers never made money like today's NBA? Well, if you don't know the answer to that question, I really don't know what to tell you. It's pretty obvious. Do I have a favorite interview or a person you really enjoyed reporting on? I have so many favorite interviews. So many. I can't just pick out one. I mean, one of my favorite interviews was on the driving range at Lake Tahoe with Jesse Ventura. Another one was with Dan Quayle, former vice president. Another was with Emmett Smith, one of the funniest interviews and great interviews, and one that will always stand out to me. But I've interviewed so many people, so many. I can't just pick out one. Always loved talking to Charles Barkley. You know, Charles was my first guest when I started my podcast in October of 2020. My first guest, Charles Barkley. Great. Well, Father's Day interview with my dad. I was thinking more public figures and celebrities. Obviously, my dad is number one on the list. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate that. Someone said Spud Webb. Love talking to Spud. All right. Yes, the contracts in the NBA are sustainable. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, have you looked at the TV contract that is now in the books for the NBA? Have you looked at the numbers? Billions, B as in boy, billions of dollars annually. So yes, it is sustainable because there's guaranteed revenue coming into the league by billions. And the league and the CBA guarantees that the players get a certain percentage of the pie. I mean, is this not common sense? My first trip to Thailand, probably around 2010, probably, I'm guessing. Who is the most mentally tough athlete I've ever encountered? There isn't just one. Most of the athletes I've dealt with are very mentally tough. There are too many to name. Most of them fit that category. Kevin says, you know, it was a great interview. And Grant says, what a beauty. Love you, Grant. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Hey, don't forget about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. If you're looking to relocate, go to Calusa and go to their website, calusasunrise.com, and check out everything they have to offer from Blazona Development in beautiful Calusa, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Remember, there's no Melrose here, and you don't have any homeowners. Think about that. And easy to get to. I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. It's all there for you. Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Make sure you check out calusasunrise.com. That's calusasunrise.com. Glad to have you with us here on If You Don't Like That. My thoughts on players getting investigated for sports betting. Here is, and that's a great question. Here's my take on this. When you have gambling associated with your sport now, which used to be a no-no with all American sports, I'm talking about legalized betting now, you're going to have situations pop up from time to time. You have to ask yourself, with the Malik Beasleys of the world and Porter from Toronto last season and others, is this just the tip of the iceberg, or is this it's only the tip? I think you're going to always have players that think they can beat the system and make extra money on the side or what have you, which then affects the integrity of the games, which can be a real problem. I think the bigger issue with all of this, and I've been very open and I did a podcast on this, is the effect that legalized gambling is having on our younger generation, particularly males. The data is extremely alarming on young men in their 20s. It is who gamble. Very alarming. That concerns me more than anything. All right. Said Malik Beasley. Yes, I know who you're talking about. You said Michael, but yes, thank you for correcting that. That's to me a huge concern. Huge concern. And we are getting more and more data that is extremely disturbing. Extremely. I am surprised that no New York media consulted me when Mike Brown was hired, being you had a daily insight on him for a time. I did, and I declined. They should have never legalized sports betting. It's crazy to me that ESPN talks about betting lines and over-under numbers. Yeah, and it's here to stay. It's here to stay. I don't think it's sustainable, the contracts and gambling. Fans, the contracts are sustainable. Stop it. You have guaranteed revenue in the billions coming in from your television deals. The contracts and the NBA salary cap is based on the amount of revenue coming into the league. Stop it when you say it's not sustainable. As long as the TV networks are willing to pay billions of dollars, it is sustainable. Now, when this particular new TV deal expires, then at that point, we may have a different discussion. But for now, for the foreseeable future, it is very sustainable. And not only that, contracts are going to continue to go up, not down. Amazing. Yeah, I haven't even talked about the international money. It's all one big pie, and the league, the players get a percentage of that. So, I mean, it's very sustainable. I'm not sure why people would think that it's not. As long as you have the revenue coming in and it's guaranteed, you're fine. All right? You're fine. I don't see it being an issue. All right? I don't. All right, what else you want to talk about? Yeah, I know you want to talk about the Hall of Famer, Mr. Renault. I understand. For all of you morons out there that think you can make a observation that the guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame based on one summer league game against non-NBA players for the most part. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Seriously. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But, as far as these contract questions, that's just where we're at now. I can't believe that Devin Booker got a 2-year extension at $145 million. Like, that's shocking to me. Like, I don't understand that. And I like Devin Booker, and I think he's a very good player. He's just completed his 10th year. He's been an All-Star 4 times. If I'm giving somebody the highest paid contract annually in the history of the NBA, he better be an All-Star more than 40% of the time. Amazing. Answer the guy that asked you what your go-to European country is. Well, you're now telling me how to do my show, like I have to answer certain questions. Well, I didn't see it. My go-to country is Switzerland. The average American salary earns $40,000 to $50,000. So what the hell does that have anything to do with NBA contracts? Seriously. Like, what does that have to do with anything? That has nothing to do with the NBA. Has nothing to do with sports. Look at MLB. Their product is declining, yet the money is flooding in. Yes, very true. Yep. True. Again, folks, everything revolves around television money. Everything. Okay? Everything. All revolves around the money from television. Devin Booker is owed $316 million over the next 5 years. Absolutely insane. I would agree with you. Hello, Grant. Big fan of yours. Always rooting for you and the Kings. Gary from East LA. Thank you very much, Gary. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that. That is amazing about Booker. $316 million over 5 years. Wow. Incredible. Was Devin Booker almost traded for DeMarcus Cousins prior to the Buddy Hield deal? I don't believe so. I never heard that. I think a gambling scandal will happen and leagues will be forced to regulate gambling, similar to what Congress made MLB do with PEDs. That I could, you know what? I'm not going to say no. I think they get in trouble with the wrong people. I could see that, your thoughts on gambling and a scandal. My thoughts on Portugal. I've never been to Portugal, so I'm sorry. My brother was there with his wife and said it was phenomenal, but I have not been to Portugal. I can't speak. I have another friend that's in Porto and has bought 2 condos there, and he says it is phenomenal. Loves it. All right. What's up, Grant? What's the best redemption you've gotten using credit card points to book a flight? Alaska Airlines has the best redemptions of any airline, I think, in the world. I just did this. It expired on June 30th, where you can transfer American Express points to Hawaiian Airlines and then transfer it into your Alaska account. I got a round trip next spring from San Francisco to Bangkok through Taipei on Starlux, the new airline out of Taiwan, which is beautiful. Brand new Airbus A350s. They go to Orange County. They go to San Francisco, LA. They go to Seattle on the West Coast. All through Taipei. You can go to Tokyo. You can go to Bangkok. You can go to some other Asian destinations. Round trip. Premium economy, not economy, premium economy with 40 inches of pitch, which is excellent, for 70,000 points round trip. That's really good. That was on Alaska Airlines. So Alaska, very good. They have flights on Japan Airlines, Cathay Pacific, and some others as well. They got great. I think it's the best. Top 3 countries to visit other than Thailand: Switzerland, Italy, Vietnam. I know Super Sad. I went to Mode Central for me and my girlfriend to watch this past February and transferred American Express to Hawaiian to Alaska for a total of $15,000. Yep. It's too bad that's going. That's no longer there, because that was. Yeah, I hear you, Dorian. Just paid the $550 in taxes and fee for domestic. I think I paid $60, Dorian, a $60, maybe even less than that. I can't remember, but it was definitely less than $100. All right. Hey, Dennis, go away, would you please? Stick your head in the sand somewhere and go away. You're annoying as hell. You're annoying. And you're an idiot. All right. On that note, we'll just say goodbye, because I said what I had to say to Dennis. I hope that you have a great evening. All right. And for you, Renault alcoholics, enjoy his domination. Go back and watch the game again, but only watch the first half. Don't watch the second half. Only watch the first half. And you'll see the next Wilt Chamberlain. That's what I'm hearing on my chat line tonight. That's what I'm reading. You will see the next Wilt Chamberlain. Don't watch the second half. Only watch the first half. Best country to buy a suit: Bangkok, Thailand, by far. There you have it. John, thank you, buddy. And everyone else, have a good night. Dennis, get a life. Bye-bye.